This is a movie review. Our very first movie review, in fact. And I'm so honored that it gets to be this movie of all movies. Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie, is out. I have seen it. Well, I mean, it's out technically tomorrow from the moment I'm filming this. I mean, it's 4 in the morning right now. I went to an early screening with Gladys. We saw the movie. And this is my official review for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I'm gonna try to make this as non-spoiler as I can, but I'm gonna talk my talk about the movie because it is special. Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie, is the best video game to movie adaptation yet. Okay? The curse is gone. It is either dead and gone, or it just had it was no match for the power of the love that was put into the script and just the story for this movie. If there was one way I could sum up this movie, it is a love letter to the fans. And for those who aren't, familiar with Five Nights at Freddy's until seeing this movie, then it's a fun, thriller with hell of a lot of twists and turns. It is a fun movie, and that's exactly what I was hoping for going into this, but nothing could prepare me for how good the movie actually is. Like, it is baffling how good that movie is. I'm not even joking with you. And prior to seeing the movie, I did see quite a bit of talk around the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, pretty much giving the movie a very low rating. I think it went from a 31 or something, or a 37 down to a 23 or something like that. And some people were obviously oh man, that sucks. They were worried. Some people kind of read between the lines and realized, okay, let's see what the audience score is going to end up being when when that appears. And people like me and Gladys, we pretty much knew that, hey, this movie is it's gonna be what it is. The moment I saw that the movie was written by Scott, I was like, okay, this movie is going to be what it is, and that's what it was meant to be. Whether for better or for worse, it was going to be what it was. You know what I mean? For fuck's sake, the movie only took this long to make because Scott wanted to find the perfect script. He wanted a script that he was happy with, and obviously what he was able to pull together with Blumhouse was what made him happy. And my God, is it so fucking good. First off, the movie uses a lot of everything from the games, and I'm sure there's even references to the books. I'm not too familiar with the books, so I wouldn't catch them right off the fly, but from right from the beginning, things like dream theory, all that stuff, all of that makes an appearance in some way, shape, or form. They even go as far as to mix in things that are in the games currently with the movie's events, which take place during the events of the first 3 games. So they really are playing with a lot of the things that the series has made official, canonical, things like that in some way, shape, or form make an appearance in the movie. And if everyone remembers back when Matthew Lillard was, I think he was on some sort of live, or it was some sort of video, he mentioned that he was signed up for 3 Five Nights at Freddy's movies. So we're going to be seeing a lot of things from different games and stuff just being brought in to just kind of pay homage to those things. Like I said, this movie very much is a love letter to the fans, because the amount of things that are just crammed into the movie, whether it's an Easter egg, whether it's a massive plot point, whether it's anything like that, it is pulled from something in the Five Nights at Freddy's games or mythos, whatever you want to call it. It's if it was in the lore at some point during the games, it's going to be in the movie or in one of the movies. That's what it seems like they're doing, which I think is the best way to really just to kind of bring everything that FNAF is all into one really, really, really fun package. I hope that all made sense. Like I said, this is it's kind of a scatterbrained review. We just saw the movie, and I had to make this. It's so good. Matthew Lillard killed it. He killed it. I do have a few gripes, but it's not really with the movie itself. It's actually more like the marketing. There were certain things that happened in the movie that, once that moment in the movie came to be, you kind of already knew what was going to happen. I'm not going to say, what it was per se, but like I already knew a certain character was going to be, okay. And I get they were trying to build a lot of hype for the movie and stuff like that, but I definitely do feel that maybe a little bit more than they should have let out was let out. I think it was a good idea to introduce Afton. I definitely do. In the trailers, just to kind of build more of a hype. But it didn't exactly help that like while Matthew Lillard was kind of promoting the movie and stuff like that, he straight off the bat was like, hey, yeah, I'm playing William Afton. Everyone who was pretty much following the movie knew kind of what was going on, who was who and stuff like that. So that's sort of the thing there, but still the movie still managed to keep me in suspense, just ready to find out what happens next, because the way it's all handled is honestly really great. Like Josh Hutcherson, I think is his name. If I butchered his name, I'm sorry. Hutcherson, the guy who plays Mike Schmidt, fantastic job, killed it. Absolutely killed it. The little girl who plays his younger sister Abby, fantastic actress. She killed it. The woman that plays Vanessa, fantastic. Like everyone did their thing in this movie. Everyone, played their role exactly how it felt like it was supposed to be played. This movie was a lot of fun. It took all the wacky and wild stuff from FNAF. I mean, obviously, FNAF gets really wacky. We haven't exactly gone down, off the deep end entirely in the movies yet, but I do think based on what we saw in the first movie that it will continue to go down that rabbit hole. So I'm excited for that. But from what I've seen, like I loved how the movie took itself so serious. Like I remember seeing one of the reviewers for Rotten Tomatoes say something like that the movie just took itself too serious, but I feel like it fit so well. It had the silly charm that the games have, and managed, and not only did it play to its horror roots, it also played to the love that the fans have for the animatronics themselves. Like I was not expecting to see how they were used. I'm not going to speak too much on that. I was not expecting to see how they were going to be used, especially through like the middle point of the movie and onward, and it was just done so well. And it really, really was. This project is so respectful to the characters, like all of them, that it's just done so well. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Springtrap, Michael Afton, William Afton. Every character was paid just such a high level of respect, and in some ways I also think that some of the confirmed lore points in the movie might actually challenge some of the theories, some of the ongoing theories that people have, that a lot of theorists have, for the game's lore. So I'm very interested to see what people start to dig into with some of the new stuff that we learned with the movie, because it's very interesting to see where Scott wanted to take it, how to provide the kind of weird and I guess you could say kind of fantastical parts of the games, things like William Afton and Henry's ability to make such high-tech animatronics and robotics at such a dated point in time. Like it doesn't make sense, but it works for this universe, and the movie fits the universe so well. Like it really brought the universe of the games to life. Like there isn't a lot of Afton, or there isn't a lot of Michael just sitting at the cameras or anything like that, but there is a lot of things that we don't see in the games, like interacting with the world and interacting with the animatronics and stuff like that. Like this movie really brought that side of FNAF, things that we haven't really seen with these characters, and just it was just done so well, and the story worked out, and a lot of the red herrings that were thrown in the trailers, like seeing those red herrings, seeing what the real turn of events as opposed to what the trailers were trying to depict was really interesting. It was very Scott, very Scott, very Scott Cawthon. Like I loved it. This movie is genuinely a love letter to the fans. The movie, pacing wise is pretty good too. The movie does start off very slowly to kind of get you adjusted to the characters and stuff like that. Being able to see Matthew Lillard play as William Afton and bring the Spring Bonnie to life, and it was so good. He genuinely felt like a force to be reckoned with. He genuinely felt like a threat. Like seeing that character being put onto the big screen, chef's kiss, phenomenal job. I was shocked. I was edge of my seat when those those scenes would come on, like when the animatronics are doing their thing. It's so weird to see. But yet so amazing, because it's like, it's not just me checking the cameras. They're literally walking around, and it's just, and they're moving. These are like the basic animatronics of FNAF 1, so they're moving like animatronics and everything, and it is just so wild, but so cool at the same time. It's a great time to be a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. Scott, Blumhouse, everyone, the actors, everyone did their thing, and I can't wait to see what they do with Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and 3. But yeah, it is a great movie. It is a lot of fun, and I cannot preface that enough. It is a very fun movie from beginning to end. They outdid themselves with this. It is a solid movie. I give it, in all honesty, a 9. I was gonna say 0.5, but no, a 9. I do feel, one of the gripes I can say is that, certain moments of the movie were a bit predictable. Like even if you weren't paying attention to all the marketing for the movie on Matthew Lillard's part, or anything like that, or didn't know anything about FNAF, you could kind of be like, okay, that's a little sus, like it kind of did a bit of that. So yeah, but but in terms of gripes, that's all I really had about it. Other than that, it was solid. As I'm obviously speaking as a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, I can't really give my review as someone who doesn't know of the franchise, obviously, because I know it. We played all the games and stuff. I genuinely had so much fun watching that movie. Me and Gladys are already excited to watch it again. We're probably gonna watch it on Peacock one of these days, because it is very much a good movie. I'm not even joking. It is a lot of fun. It has the horrorness, it has the sci-fi, the supernatural, all of those things infused into one fun and just beautiful to look at package. Like just everything about it, it just looks great. It just looks great, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see more. So shout out to everyone. Also, and also, this is kind of a spoiler too, I guess, but shout out Pat, aka the Game Theorist. Like he said, and I quote, "I am not in the FNAF movie." That motherfucker's in the FNAF movie, and he literally got to say his infamous line. And I love him for it. Thank you. I knew it. I fucking knew it. When he said he wasn't in the movie, I was like, I don't believe it. I genuinely don't believe it. I'm glad I was right, because it was a great cameo. Watch this movie. Watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Even if you don't like Five Nights at Freddy's, watch it, and I guarantee you'll at least have a good time. And that's the biggest takeaway from this, is that no matter if you're a fan of the games or not, you watch this and have a good time. It is a fun horror movie, perfect for the Halloween season, and it's one that you can watch with the kiddos too. And also big thing, people made a big deal about that movie being PG-13, but while that movie lacked while it lacked gore, it definitely did not lack on how the kills were presented. There are some fantastic kills in that movie. There was one kill in particular by Freddy that shocked me. I'm in the theater with a lot of people, and I almost stood out of my chair. I was in a reclining chair, so me and Gladys were big chilling, but like, as soon as I saw that scene, I was just like, what? Like, Ain't no way. Like, it is a wild scene. Like, they definitely pushed. They definitely pushed the envelope as far as they could without it leaving the PG-13 rating. But they did it with such class. It was so good. I'm so glad that the movie didn't rely too much on gore. And there were scenes where you see blood and gore and stuff like that. And even when silhouettes are used, it's done in a very tasteful way. It's so good. It's so good. Watch this movie. It is a love letter to in a lot of ways, even just horror itself. It uses so many different components of it, and especially with the movie using a lot more practical effects, you know, like with these suits actually being things as opposed to CGI, which a lot of people felt was going to be the case, but no, it is no, that it is far from that. It is spot on. Like, this was literally Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, bravo. If you have seen the movie, or you will see the movie, if I inspired you to go see that movie, definitely let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you've seen it already, let me know in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you just not willing to watch it and you just disagree with me anyway? I mean, you could do that. I don't care. But smash like if you enjoyed. If you're new around here, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Stay sane, play games, and above all else, remember, somebody loves you.